The way I want to introduce today, you may or may not have heard me speak on a regular weekly basis on a program, Talk Show, connected with the University of Acadia. And one of the things that I've been reminded as I've been going through this information is A, there's too much of it. B, what about the basics and getting a sense of how everything fits together? By that I mean getting a framework. It's fine to talk about the general executor, it's fine to talk about documents, it's fine to talk about conduct in court or responses or any kind of remedy, but I feel one of the things that has been missing is what we're about to go through now, a framework where you can maybe hopefully put some context in on some of the things you've heard from me and other things you know. So the first session is Western Roman law. So first thing I want to say is nothing you're going to hear is legal advice. And the reason it's not legal advice is what these words mean when we hear the words attorney, barrister, in a moment, lawyer and the art. I want to start here because frequently you hear when people talk on radio or they speak about the law, they say, oh, it's not legal advice. Let's start, because this is actually very interesting as to the origin of these words. Attorney. The word attorney, attornment, from the 16th century, combined with the Latin word at, to, and torno, turn, round off, means to consent implicitly or explicitly to a transfer of right. In other words, the attorney is there to prove that you have given up your rights. So I'm definitely not here to get you to give up your rights. I'm not an attorney. What about a barrister? The word barrister is from the late 16th century, combined with the Latin word baro, which means dunce, incompetent. Sto or stare, to stand firm, to be in position. So barrister means literally to stand, represent a dunce or an incompetent. Well, I'm not here to stand before you and accuse any of you of being dunce or incompetent, so I'm certainly not a barrister. Am I a lawyer? Well, the word lawyer is from the 16th century, combining the Latin word la or lares, customary law, and luro, lurare, to swear, take an oath, to conspire, meaning literally one who has sworn an oath to customary law of the private guild. In other words, sworn an oath to lie. That's a lawyer. A lawyer is one who has sworn an oath to lie, a pathological liar. That's their sworn oath. Well, I'm not here to be a pathological liar. I'm certainly not a lawyer. And just in case there's any misunderstanding, the art of law. Am I practicing law? In the 13th century in Florence, the Medici organised merchants into private systems of 5 major guilds called the Arti Medianae and 7 minor guilds called the Arti Minor, occult guilds called the Arti, hence the art of law. Well, I'm not here to practice occult before you, and I certainly don't belong to an occult guild. So I'm certainly not practicing the art or claiming to practice the art. And last one, if you have a legal problem, find a competent advocate, definitely not an attorney, lawyer or barrister, okay? This is not about getting around the law, and I want to step on this one for a moment too. Today is about expressing knowledge on the rule of law, equity of law, and fairness of law. It's your choice to claim the status, if you suffer a problem, to choose to remain to be in the role of victim, which they want you to be, or to be accountable and competent for your own actions. And I say that because, again, one of the many things that you hear, people almost selling remedy, buy my remedy, as if there is no consequence for where you are. You'll find in a moment it's actually about who we are first, what we are first, that makes everything we'll talk about make sense. Thanks, Anastasia. So what is competence? You may have heard me say this word over and over again on the talk shows. And competence, I'm sorry for the amount of words. You can tell it's Ucadia by the amount of words. Competence is a fictional concept of being fit, proper and qualified to produce and argue reason through knowledge and skill of law, logic and rhetoric against arguments. So competence is about knowing information and knowing how to use it. those two key things, knowing something and knowing how to use it. We say, and these are references to canon, that's actually canon 2600 of the canon law of Eucadia. By the way, these are handouts that you'll get at the end, so you don't have to, if you don't want to, you don't have to write this, you'll get them in handouts as slides. Your divine person or soul is always competent. We always say this, If your soul, your essence, and people have different words for it, so I'm not going to label it as one particular label, but if that thing which is divine of you